Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Games that Were podcast. And this episode is episode 11. And as always, got my buddy Vern over there. What's going on, man?
Not much. How's it going?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Took 2 days off and had kind of a me day yesterday, and it was fantastic. I tell you what, it was great.
Nice.
What's been going on with you?
Not much, man. I'm having a me month. I'm in between jobs right now. So I start my new job on the 14th. So I've got, a few weeks off. It's going to be
Nice,
pretty
man.
nice just to get a lot of
Congrats.
gaming in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
game it up, man.
What you been
Cool.
playing?
So I'm still playing Biomutant. It's kind of like I guess, open worldish kind of game where you're this little mutant creature and you battle these other little mutant creatures. And I like the game. However, to do the main quests, you have to do a lot of side quests
Hmm.
because you'll have to go find these different things, and then it'll tell you, well, you have to go get this in order to complete this. So I don't know. I'm kind of like struggling with it. I put 11 hours in it, but I'm
Yeah.
kind of like, I'm not sure if I want to continue or not. But I think I'm
Yeah.
going to. I need to finish.
Okay.
This is like the first time I've played one of these longer games in a while,
Yeah.
because I just don't have too much time for gaming. And but we'll see how it goes. But what have you been playing?
So I'm 45 hours into Oblivion remake,
Nice.
and this is the first long game I've played in a long time. Seriously, probably since being a dad. I just don't play long games hardly anymore.
Yeah,
Um,
same.
yeah, it's just it's hard to get into one. But what I've been doing is just like 2 hours here, 2 hours there, and so what I've decided after 45 hours, I'm not done with it. I'm loving every second of it. But I started a shorter game, Mind's Eye. Uh,
Oh
it's getting a lot of
yeah.
yeah, it's getting a lot of hate online. So I don't watch reviews prior to playing games, but I'm actually enjoying it. And
Really? Has it
yeah,
messed
I'm
up
like,
for you?
do what?
Has it messed up for you? Have you gotten any crazy glitches?
No, I mean, yeah, like, but nothing that affects gameplay. It's kind of like
Okay.
funny glitches. Traffic is awful. You do some driving, and it's like a city, kind of like cyberpunk, and you'll see cars just crashing, exploding off in the back. It's funny, like, so it is a glitchy game, but I've found zero glitches that affect my gameplay,
Okay.
and it's unique. I'm enjoying it. And on VR2, you remember that game we played once or twice, that Crossfire?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You remember that? We'll have to
Hmm.
hop back on there and play.
Yeah,
I pulled it
definitely.
back up, and
Nice.
anyway, it'd be an easy game to platinum, um, but it's fun. I have a neighbor down the street I met with a VR2, and he bought that game, so I played 2 or 3 levels with him the other night. But
Nice.
yeah, me and you're gonna have to jump back on that. It's fun.
Definitely. Well, now I have more like VR experience because we played that when I just started, and so I wasn't doing too well. But now I think I'm ready to, you know,
Cool.
get with it for real. Yeah,
Yeah, man, you should
definitely.
for
Yeah,
sure.
man, for sure. So hey, did you watch any of the state of play? I think it was like a week or two ago. And if you did, like, what was there any games that stood out to you?
So yeah, to be honest, it wasn't my favorite state of play. There was nothing that I'm just like dying to play, but there are a few things I'm interested in. One of them is baby steps.
Baby
You know what
steps.
I'm talking about? It's where
I
it's like a
maybe
grown
so.
man in pajamas walking.
Oh, nice.
It looks ridiculous, and it's like a walking simulator. It's silly. It looks interesting. There's that 007 game,
Yeah.
First Light, that looks pretty cool. It just I'm just praying it's like some super box office hit like Goldeneye was for
I
us.
hope so. Yes.
Yeah, that looks
Please.
cool. Yeah, man. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, of course, I'm excited for.
Definitely.
And then there's a Thief game for VR2 coming out. Um, I've never played a Thief game, but they've always looked cool. Uh, and then there was one more, but it's not coming out till 26. I think Pragmata.
Okay.
Capcom's making it. Um, but I think that's it. What about you?
So basically, we have the same list. I mean, I'm really looking forward to the 007 game. I kind of looked at it, and it's supposed to be like a prequel story about how
Mhm.
James Bond got into MI6 and all that. So I think that's going to be really fun to play and looked really
Yeah.
interesting. The Thief game VR that looked really cool. I think
Mhm.
it'd be really cool to be in VR and go try to pick somebody's pocket or whatever. I think that's going to
Yeah,
be really, really awesome to do. And then, of
yeah.
course, Metal Gear Solid, Snake Eater. I mean, yes, I've you know, played the original one, but I think, the remaster, it's going to be great. The graphics are going to be good. So looking forward to that. But let's jump into the game that we're going to talk about today. And the game is Battlefield 1. And this game was just freaking awesome when
Yeah,
it
it was.
came back in the day. It came out in 2017, I believe, and it also got a game award. And of course, in my notes here, I forgot to write it down. However, it won an award for like best game, I think, of 2017, and to me, it was just a really great game. I mean, I really loved to play it. What were some of the things that you liked about this game?
Um, so I think the graphics are just a huge standout feature. We played it, a month ago probably, and hop back into it.
Oh
Still
yeah,
people playing the game, and the graphics still blow you away. All these years later, it still looks better than some modern games that come out, and it's just wild. uh, and just the atmosphere, that the sounds, that they just a lot of detail went into the game. The maps look amazing. I just love uh, the atmosphere. Like this guns when you kill somebody with a sniper rifle, it goes ching. It's just addicting, and I love the time period. World War One wasn't done a lot before or ever. This
exactly.
may have been the first World War One game, certainly that I've ever played. Um, the campaign was cool. It wasn't one long story. It was kind of different chapters. There was 5 or 6 different like perspectives, different people you played in the war, which was neat. And everything about this game was unique. I like when companies take risks and try new stuff, and I love that stuff. What about you? What's some stuff you liked about it?
Yeah, so kind of on the same page here. The graphics just phenomenal back in the day. And I was thinking, I played this on the PS4, which was not 4K, but it
Mm-hmm.
still looked excellent. I mean, everything, the detail from the guys stitching on their uniforms to their little buttons that they had on their sleeves and the weapons, the levels themselves had so much detail. I remember one level that you're like in a forest on like a team deathmatch level, or I think it's a conquest level actually, and you can actually see the sun rays coming in through the leaves of the
Yeah,
trees.
yeah, I
It's
love
just
that level.
amazing. So much thought was put into this game,
Hmm.
and another thing I liked about it was the detail to World War One itself. I mean, you had the same types of weapons. You had the machine guns. If you want to go in a machine gun nest and fire that at people, they had that in the game. They had
Hmm.
the rifles. They had the submachine guns. If you wanted to shoot a cannon, you could do that in the game.
Yeah,
Fly planes. You could fly planes in the game.
the blimp.
The blimp, the zeppelins. I mean, on those
Yeah.
conquest levels where 64 people were playing
Hmm.
against each other, just insane. And it is really insane still today. Like you said,
Yeah.
we played a month ago, and it was just you can still get on and play. And there's tons of people that are playing this game still because it was just so, to me, well thought out.
Yeah.
And I just really think a bunch of detail was put into this game. Like you said, the setting of World War One itself was really awesome. I had never played a World War One game,
Mm.
and this Battlefield game was actually my first dive into a Battlefield game. I'd never played any of the previous Battlefields before
Oh
ever
wow.
because I'm basically Call of Duty guy and had always played that. But
Yeah,
I jumped into this because the trailers and advertising were really great. And
dude, the trailer.
oh yeah,
Dude, there's a trailer I cannot remember. It had just some crazy music going, and it started off with a guy like smashing a dude's head. Dude, the trailer for this, the advertising was awesome.
oh
It
yeah,
was like
yeah,
reminds you of the old school Xbox announcements trailers.
exactly. And it was just hyped up, and everybody. I knew of Battlefield and I knew how popular it was, and I think that's what drew everybody in was just the advertisement for this game was just so great, and the campaign was amazing. Like you
Yeah.
said, it was different chapters where you could play different people, and it was based on their perspective of, how
Mm,
they fought the war and the different kind of battles. I remember one was, I believe you were Lawrence of Arabia, and so you were in the
yeah.
desert in the Middle East somewhere, and you try to attack this armored train, I think, and it was just
Mm.
insane. Like,
Yeah. Whenever
so,
you were in Australia or you were an Australian soldier, like a messenger, that was cool. And so it's interesting that this was your first Battlefield. I played
hmm
1942, like it was like a smaller scale, like on the PS3. I think it was on the PS3. I played that a lot. And then Battlefield Bad Company, I played.
yeah.
And then I played Battlefield 4 a whole lot. Battlefield 4 I got into. That was my last PS3 game I ever played. Was Battlefield 4, and it came out for both systems. I remember with PS4 and the PS3, but I didn't upgrade to the PS4 right away, so I played the PS3, and they only had 32 people online, whereas the PS4 had 64. But I loved it, man. I loved Battlefield 4, but sadly, Battlefield after this one has kind of
Uh,
tanked. Battlefield 5 came out and got horrific reviews. And then I talked all my buddies into getting Battlefield
yeah,
2042.
me included, me
Yeah,
included.
and it is awful, or it was awful. I haven't really
Yeah.
played it.
I haven't either since
Yeah,
we played and it was just so awful with
it was
all the
terrible.
glitches. Yeah,
Yeah, just terrible, man. Like Battlefield 1 is not just a good Battlefield game, it's one of my favorite first person shooters of all time. It's
exactly.
epic. Um, I would say now I prefer smaller scale battles, whether it be 2-on-2, 4-on-4. But this is big warfare done right, big scale
Yeah.
warfare. It feels like you're in a real battle. There's so much craziness happening. Building destruction, I didn't mention, is really cool. I like how it's kind of slower paced. You're not in a fighter jet. You're in a what is it? A propeller
A
plane.
biplane, yeah, a biplane
Biplane.
with the four wings or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just just goes back to detail like we were saying. I mean, they really thought this game out and it was really a great game and it's a I mean, I guess you could still call it modern. I mean, it's almost been out for 10 years, but it was a good like modern game that was really great. And yeah, I'm not sure why the other ones didn't do so well, but this one was just fantastic, and I really really liked playing it.
Yeah, I looked up the as of like last year, it sold 25 million copies, which is about double what Battlefield 4 sold. And see,
Oh
to me,
wow,
Battlefield 4 was very good. I loved Battlefield 4, um, but I think people were getting tired of, uh, like at the time, Call of Duty was doing a lot of. I think Modern Warfare was coming. Not modern, like Advanced Warfighter was. I can't remember which one,
yeah,
but people were wanting like more boots on the ground, like World War II type stuff.
hmm
And then Battlefield 1 came out with that trailer a few weeks after the Call of Duty trailer, and it was just old school. They took a big risk, I think, doing Battlefield 1 because, or, World War 1, because
yeah,
it's just a different time period. It hadn't really been done before. And, I was getting ready to write some negatives. I'm curious to see if you have anything negative to say about the game. But what I did write is there's not a ton of gun selection compared to like Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 may have had like 50 different weapons. This didn't have as many, but it's more realistic for the time period. They did
yeah,
have machine guns and pistols and some kind of you know um, like prototype type weapons back in the
hmm
day, but it wasn't as it didn't have a huge weapon selection. But I think it's fine. Like I think it's good, a good weapon selection. I love the snipers in this game. I love the SMGs. I love the rifles. Everything about the game is great. The only critique I looked online and found people said is it's more casual. I don't really know what they meant by that, and the weapon selection wasn't as robust as Battlefield 4. But to me, that's not even really a huge critique of the game. The game is pretty much a perfect shooter to me.
oh
What do
yeah,
you think about it? Do you have anything negative about the game?
yeah. Just a few things like, and well, basically just one. I mean, I can't go off of former battlefields because I had never played one before, but um, I did notice some like glitches when I would play, and especially I was playing with our buddy Ken's, and I fell through the map one time just when we played like a month ago or
Oh,
so.
really?
And yeah, so I was like, what the heck? But I mean, that was the only one that I had encountered. And then I guess another one would be the user interface, because when we want to play, it is so hard
Yeah,
to play. Like, and I still don't
yeah,
know really how it works. You have to just kind of like, okay, ready up. We'll send you an invite, okay, but it
yeah.
doesn't tell you like you don't go into the player's party. You just
Yeah, it
kind of
doesn't show
like
you all like listed
no,
together or standing together. We noticed that the other
exactly.
night. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
the other thing, and I can never figure it out. Every time I play, we always take like 10 minutes or so trying to figure this out. Are you in the same game? Are you in the same game? And then you'll get into the same game and not even know that you're in the same game with your friends. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
I'm
because
just
then you have
dumb.
to
I don't
join
know.
the same squad,
Yeah,
and there's only what 4 or 6 people in a squad. I don't even remember, but you have to make sure you're all in the same squad so you can spawn
exactly.
together and all that. Yeah, and see that's part of the reason I would just nowadays I think I prefer smaller scale stuff. But I do like that at least it's possible. But yeah, that's a good critique. The user interface is not the best on this game.
It's not friendly. It's just not
Right.
user friendly. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's right. There was one other thing. Let me see. Oh, there's some night maps. Do you remember playing those on multiplayer? It's like real dark.
I think so.
Yeah, and that's it. Just a lot of games at night, it just looks like it's just gray. This one actually feels like it's pretty dark when you're playing. That's really cool, and I just can't emphasize like the single player campaign. I really wish that. I hope the next Battlefield has one. Battlefield 2042 did not have a single player campaign.
Oh yeah, that's
That's just
right.
that's just unexcused. That's just not acceptable to me. I can't believe I was excited about that game and
Yeah,
still bought it with no single player campaign.
I forgot all
That's
about that.
yeah, and to me, a game that comes out like that, that's just required because it gives the game longevity. Because one day these Battlefield One servers will go down, and we could
Oh
we could
yeah,
still go back and play the game. Single
yeah,
player at least.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, I guess I had, not a negative to this game, but just the negative to the next two games that came out, which was, Battlefield. It was five, right? And
Yeah.
so that was World War II, and it
Mhm.
just got review bombed hard. I mean, it was
Yeah.
bad from day one. People were just saying that this is the worst game, and honestly, that influenced me not to get it, so I didn't
Me
play that
too.
one. And then I
Yeah.
know we got excited about 2042. I mean, I was kind of on the fence, but I was like, let's give it a shot. And then
Yeah.
that totally just bombed at the beginning. Now, I know that there's been a lot of, fixes, of course. It's been out
Mhm.
now for what, 4 years or so now.
Yeah.
So it's like they've done a lot of work to fix it. But it's like when a game comes out, I expect it to be, pretty much done. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, add some more stuff here and there and whatever, but I mean, just get out a finished project in my opinion. So I'm not really sure about, Battlefield 7, right? I think that's the newest one coming out. I know it's set kind of modern, maybe a couple of years in the future or so.
I
And
can't even remember. I don't even. Is it
yeah,
Vietnam? I don't even know what it is. What
I think it's a
era?
more modern one, I thought, like a
Oh,
kind of
okay.
modern age type game, I think. So I don't know. I think I'm going to wait for the reviews on that one before I,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
got burnt last time, so I'm not jumping
Oh
right
yeah.
into them again. And if it does not have a single player campaign, it's going to take a lot of convincing for me to spend 60 or 70, whatever it is, $70
Oh
or eighty
gosh.
dollars, whatever they decide. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna spend that again because, dude, this is embarrassing to admit on here, but I spent $90. I got the special edition
Oh
of,
no,
of
man.
2042, so dude, I got burnt so bad, and I told everybody to join in my suffering. And we played it like 2 or 3 times, and then I
Yeah.
was like, this game's terrible. So I just
Yeah.
stopped playing it
Oh
altogether.
yeah. It was just
Oh my
awful
gosh.
game. Once again, user interface wasn't that good. Tons of
Mhm.
glitches.
There
They
was
said
no scoreboard at first when
no.
it
Oh
launched.
yeah, yeah. No
No score. You
KD,
couldn't.
no
Yep.
nothing. Didn't know how
Nope.
good you did.
Yep.
Um,
What is that?
yeah, just so many things. They said there was going to be a whole lot of destruction, and then there wasn't. Remember
No.
that?
There was like
I
one
mean,
antenna that would fall over, and then the airboats, the hovercrafts, those things were like out of control. Everybody could call them in, and there'd be like hovercrafts shooting up buildings, and it was just dumb. I could
oh yeah,
not.
you can drive up the buildings, right? Can you
Yeah,
drive
they
up
were driving up skyscrapers. It's so dumb, and they were calling them in from the top of buildings. It
Yeah,
was just so ridiculous, man. It doesn't even hold a match to Battlefield One. Battlefield One
dude,
is epic to still today.
I just don't understand why that happens. You know, I mean, you go from something really good and then you just put out this, terrible game for the next two times, and I don't
Yeah.
understand why they do that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's tough to like come up with a good story and everything and all that, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you can go from Battlefield 1 to the last two that have been out. I
One
just I
thing I
just don't really
like
get it.
that Battlefield does over Call of Duty is they wait a few years. It's not
Yeah.
like an every year project. It's every 2 or 3 years rather than every single year. So stuff
Yeah.
Battlefield games are drastically different. 4 to 5 is a big difference. Battlefield 1 to 24. I mean, they're all just different. That's why I love Battlefield games. But the last two have been big flops. So like we said, I ain't holding my breath that the next one's gonna be good.
Oh no, man.
So
Just crazy. But yeah, well, I mean, we need to play it again, and y'all let us know in the comments what y'all think about Battlefield 1 and, Battlefield 5 and 2042 and what you thought about those games. Let us know in the comments below, and we'll talk to y'all next time.
later,
Later.
guys.